Okay, I want to talk to you today about the subject of practice and two different ways that I want you to think about it. One as a dress rehearsal and another as woodshedding. You may have heard this term woodshedding before. I know you've heard of dress rehearsal. Think about a dress rehearsal is typically a day or two before a play or a show is done live, and it's specifically designed to not stop and to just go whether there's a mess up or not, because when you're playing live or you're playing in the studio or something of that nature, you need to be able to keep going. If you're playing with a band and there's a chord that you are not so familiar with, or a lick or something like that that you're not so familiar with, the band doesn't know to stop there and wait for you. Neither would it be good if they did, because there's going to be a big hole in the music. So we need to get this concept down, and we need to be able to kind of be able to play in both roles and understand it as we're practicing ahead of time, which role we're taking. Okay, so typically woodshedding is when you're sitting by yourself, you're sitting with your guitar, and you are wanting to learn a new technique that you wouldn't typically be busting out in front of somebody else because you're not there yet. Okay, this is where maybe you're learning a new scale or transitioning between chords or something that's very monotonous and takes a lot of attention. Okay, that's what we call woodshedding. And so anytime you're learning something new, I want you to do this. I want you to get really, just dig in the dirt with your own playing and your own thinking about your technique, and you're going to get a ton of great stuff out of it. Okay, a lot of problems with mediocre guitar players is because they don't do that digging in the dirt, they don't do that woodshedding, and so they just kind of stay on this surfacey kind of playing level. Okay, and then I've seen other players that do more the other, and there's deficiencies to both. So you want to make sure that you're doing both. Okay, so once we have the woodshedding down and you have a really good grasp of a particular concept, you want to start practicing it like a dress rehearsal. The reason being is your mind is very powerful, and if you always allow yourself to stop and to fix something every time it's not right, then you're going to get in a habit of doing that, and you're going to allow yourself that latitude of making a mistake. Well, one, we don't want to do that, and two, great musicians can make mistakes and make you not know that they're there. Okay, I've seen this done with some great guitar players where I felt like they made a mistake in a solo or something like that live, and they were able to pull out of it to where a few measures afterwards, I was like, oh, I was wrong. They didn't mess up. I heard it wrong, okay? Because they were so confident and they were able to maneuver themselves out of that situation. So this is the important part of dress rehearsal, okay? After you woodshed something, doing a dress rehearsal and practicing it, saying, I'm going to play this thing from beginning to end, no matter what, even if I mess up, I'm just going to plow through it. It's a great way of rehearsing, especially if you're getting ready for a show or something like that, because the last thing in the world somebody wants you to do is, they don't care if you mess up on stage. What they don't want you to do is mess up, stop, explain yourself, try it again, mess up, stop, explain yourself, and so on. They just want to hear the song. So don't be afraid of just getting out there and playing through your mistakes. The world is made of mistakes, and I make mistakes all the time when I'm playing, studio, live, it doesn't matter. You got to keep plowing through it, okay? Also important to know when that time is. If you're alone, you're sitting with your guitar and you have the time to woodshed, then woodshed it. But when you know that you're getting beyond that, don't be afraid to start thinking, I'm going to play this song all the way through. Again, back to the power of your mind. If you say, I'm going to get this song, I'm going to go through it, I'm going to conquer it, you're going to be way more likely to be able to do that than if you're allowing yourself the latitude to stop whenever you make a mistake. Plow through it. You're going to be fine. Do both of these practices add them to your repertoire of understanding and practice of all this stuff, and it's going to make you a much better player.